So in my previous pyramid video, I was talking about how you couldn't use ramps to lift up to build the pyramid, and that instead you would have had to have people go all around the outside of the pyramid, lifting up stones to build the pyramid. But I didn't go into the methods to lift up the stones. But I think there's three different possibilities. One possibility is to use the teeter-totter method. Now someone went into detail this, I think it was on CBC. They had someone come on and show how you could move stones and stuff around using primitive methods. And with the teeter-totter method, you get a stone under the middle of the stone you want to move at the fulcrum, and then you step on the top of it on one side, and that lifts it up. So you can get more material underneath one side of it, and then you step across on the other side of it, and that tips it up, and you can get more material under this side of it, and you can keep going back and forth, adding up material as you go along to eventually lift the block up. So that would be one method. But there's a problem with that, and it's the same problem as the second method. The second method is using some kind of mechanical jack. Now, you have a mechanical jack if you have a car. That's how you jack up your cars, with a mechanical jack. There's many different designs for these. I won't go into all the possibilities, so that would take too long. But the point being, some sort of mechanical device that would lift up the stone. The problem with this method and the problem with the teeter-totter method is that once you get the stone lifted up, you have to move it over to get it into place. And to move it over, how would you do that? So that would probably get back to, we'll have to get into the methods of moving the stones, which I guess we'll save for another video. But that's a problem there, is how do you actually move the stone over to its final destination. The third method for lifting the stone would be to build a basket around the stone. This has been proposed before, but it's worth mentioning. If you build a basket around the stone, then you can roll it. And if you can roll the stone, then you can just roll it up on top of the stone, so you can get it up to the next level. And then you roll it into place, and you either burn off the material or just cut it off. But this has a problem too. The problem is, once you get to the edge of where you're going to place a stone, the basket would be so big that you wouldn't be able to get it on the edge. You wouldn't be able to roll it up to get to the edge, to get onto the edge of the stone, to make it come out to the edge of where it needs to be. Now maybe, I'm not sure how big the basket has to be, but I would assume it would have to be big enough to where that becomes an issue. So with the three main methods of lifting the stones up, there's issues with all of them, but at the same time, they are plausible. And the basket has the benefit that you can just throw it in the water to transport it. You don't have to build any boats, you just build this basket around the stone, you throw it in the water, and it goes down the river from Aswan right to the pyramid building site. Then you just have to fish it out and roll it up into place. But then again, you get to the edge block, well, then maybe you have to use one of the other techniques. Use the teeter-totter technique, or use a mechanical jack to lift it up and put the last block into place. It could be a combination of techniques. And that's why I come back to the competition idea for, instead of using ramps, you have a competition of people lifting up blocks. So the technique doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're able to somehow get the block to come up and lift it into place.